Oh, welcome all to the SnailTrail4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic air compressors are in Toyotas. I don't know if I can say that one. We'll see. I might go back on that later. Then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler, and joining me for another episode of SnailTrail4x4 podcast, JJ, the jet plane. How are you doing, man?
Good. Thanks. How's it going over there?
I'm good.
A little crazy going on right now.
I think I'm still in shock. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know.
There's just a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things running through your head. I know.
Yes.
And plus, with King of the Hammers and everything coming up, we've got there's a lot of cogs moving on this wheel.
Yeah.
Is that the right saying? Did I actually get one?
There's a lot of cogs moving on a lot of different wheels right now. Mm-hmm. And my brain is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, constantly cycling through all the wheels and all the cogs to make things happen and make sure that they continue happening on the deadlines that they need to happen on.
Sure.
I will just leave it at that for now.
There you go. Yeah, I do. Off air, I guess I have another question for you. So we'll chat about that later, about King of the Hammers. So anyways, we've got a fun episode for everybody today.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of updating on what's been going on with us and our, I guess sort of hashtag KOH prep stuff.
Yeah.
But there's just been a lot of things going on, a lot of new things in my world and some fun things happening with Samantha, and you've got some good updates as well with the Mule, with things that you worked on with that.
Yep.
And but before we get to any of that, we have to do our wonderful giveaway chat.
Yeah.
So what are we giving away this month?
I don't know.
He's fried.
I can't think of it.
We are giving away gear wrench tools.
Thank you.
You're going to prep yourself for the next one. How about that?
Yeah, that'll work.
We're giving away a variety of gear wrench tools for you guys. We're doing a choose your own adventure little thing for gear wrench tools. I'll set up a bunch of different ones out there, put prices on them. You can have somewhere around the $200 mark, and you can kind of choose whatever tools that you want that we are going to be laying out for you. Big thank you to Gear Wrench Tools for giving us all these so that we can hand them out to you guys and continue to push their wonderful brand that we do enjoy very much. And we get to wrench with whenever we get to wrench. So big thank you to them. If you want a chance to win some Gear Wrench Tools, you need to go over to irate 4x4. Click on the watch, listen, discuss section, or go down to the watch, listen, and discuss section. Click on SnailTrail4x4 podcast, and your sign-up options will be there. There's a $5 tier, which we probably need to reorganize some of these things.
I think it's about time.
Yeah, because I think the $5 tier really is turning into like buy us a coffee scenario.
Yep.
And that because we had tokens and hidden things kind of in that one, and we're opening that up to general public now. So as long as, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. But the next tier down, the $10 tier, giveaway tier, sign up for that one. And the $20 tier, gift box tier, will open up in April. So get ready for that one if you want to join us for a gift box. I think I'd like to say that my goal for King of the Hammers, which is the first week of February, is to find the best giveaway option for February.
While down at KOH?
While down at King of the Hammers. So
I have some good ideas.
Okay.
So I've been talking to a few different companies that I'm supposed to meet up with and kind of for networking.
Yeah.
And other talks, which we'll release later.
Sure. Okay.
But there's a couple good ones that I have meetings with down at KOH that we can also chat with.
So that said, we don't know what February is yet because we're getting probably, this one won't come out. This is Thursday. Yep. But Monday's episode will be into February.
That's right. February 2nd.
Yeah. So we don't know what February's giveaway item is yet. So we will get that while we're down at King of the Hammers. That was one of my tasks that I was going to try to do. Nice. Definitely. King of the Hammers for me is networking, right? I'm going down for the event to see friends, to have a good time with, friends and family that are down there. But it's really a massive networking event for me.
I thought the main point of KOH for you was to dance on the bird cage in the middle of Ultra 3.
I might miss it this year. Well, if I get down in time, if I get down there in time, that will definitely happen. I will wear that outfit.
You can join Dolly.
Yep, and I'll wear the outfit that Nick sent me.
Yeah.
And I will be front and center in that bird's cage.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. So, but regardless, there's definitely, I want to try to grab a few interviews, and networking is the big thing for me. But one of the things I was going to try to do as well was find our February giveaway. So that said, I don't know what February giveaway is yet. So if you want a chance to win the gear wrench tools, you need to sign up by the end of the month. But we'll let you know after King of the Hammers what we have in store for you guys for February.
Nice.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then I guess we should also say, while we're down at King of the Hammers, I don't think we're going to get to who won the giveaway.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can. There's some internet around, and I'll be having the computer and stuff. But I would probably expect us to release that information the following week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. What else do we have going on? You ready?
We have giveaways for reviews.
Yes. Okay, good.
Bribery giveaways. So yeah, we like to bribe you guys out there to leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts, because those go a long way to keeping the show moving forward, bringing new listeners into the show, opening it up to more ear holes, which just feeds the machine, right? The more people we have listening, the more support we get for the show from listeners as well as vendors. So, kind of one of the main goals that Jimmy and I set up when we set up the podcast and started doing this was we wanted to find a way to create win-win-win scenarios for listeners, the podcast, the show, and vendors, for the whole industry. Right. So, being able to bring all those together, is something that Jimmy and I really enjoy doing. And so the reviews on Apple Podcasts is kind of the avenue that we've taken to help achieve that with. So, and interviews, right? And when we get the companies on for interviews too. So, but the more reviews that we have, the more people we have listening, we get to do fun giveaways, big ticket item giveaways on the reviews, which is a lot of fun. So far we've given away a winch.
Yeah.
We've given away a full set of Yokohama tires.
Yes, we have.
What size did they end up getting? Was it 37s?
I think they got 37s. Yeah.
37s. Yeah. And I'm still, after what happened to me yesterday, I will say Yokohama tires get a ton of traction on blacktop.
They get a ton of traction everywhere.
Everywhere, but it's very impressive on blacktop too.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, we're giving away a full set of Yokohama tires, which is really rad. That was always I thought that was the pinnacle of a giveaway, was a set of tires for off-roaders, right?
I really thought the winch was an amazing giveaway that we were able to achieve. And that all started as sort of a joke.
It was a drunken joke that
turned into reality for sure. And then we reached out and started working with Yokohama, and it was later that we even approached them about this other idea. Yep. And they were like, yeah, let's do it. And we're like, okay, this is cool. Amazing. Thank you so much. We're all in. Let's go. And yeah, that was pretty phenomenal. I think I don't remember how many they got. I think they got 5 though.
Was it 5 tires? A full set of 5?
I think they got 5 sets or 5 tires, 37-inch tires.
Nice.
Yeah. So good. So they got a spare. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, you can correct us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's we get to do some pretty fun big ticket items and working with some really cool companies. And I feel like we're kind of letting everybody down with our 900 giveaway. Just kidding.
No way.
So the once we reach 900 reviews, that's kind of the next big ticket item step on Apple Podcasts. We're putting together a big prize package from Morphlate that will encompass at least $1,000, if not more. And so that'll happen once we reach 900 reviews, which is pretty cool. I have a bunch of really fun things in mind for that prize pack. And so I'm looking forward to getting to give that away to somebody. Right now, though, we're coming up on reaching 800 reviews. So once we reach 800 reviews, we've partnered with Onyx Off-Road to give away elite memberships, which is the elite subscription to Onyx Off-Road. at every 50 reviews, right? So
Yes,
at 800
exactly.
reviews, and then at 850 reviews, we have an elite membership for a lucky winner each time. And so in order to get signed up for that, all you have to do is go on and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And what's really cool about that system is you only have to do it once, and you're automatically entered for every giveaway we do for reviews. So I think it's a pretty cool system. It makes it super easy and simple on you guys. And it's the gift that keeps on giving, or at least gives you the chance of giving, right? Or winning stuff. So, and if you can find ways to leave more than one reviews by stealing your buddy's phone, your spouse's phone, your kids' phones, whatever it is, your parents' phones, then you just increase your odds of winning stuff. So,
can't you make more than one account if you have different emails?
I guess in theory you could. You just have to connect and disconnect the different accounts to your phone if you have an Apple phone because you're lame.
Yeah. True.
So yeah,
do it on the PC.
Yeah, whatever you can do to have multiple accounts, it's all up to you guys how much work you want to put into it. But every time you do, you'll get better odds of winning cool stuff. So go and do that. We really appreciate it. It's a no cost way to support the channel that goes a long way to helping SnailTrail4x4 be successful in the podcasting world. So appreciate and love everything that you guys do out there for us. And that's just a very small thing that you guys could do. So
absolutely. That's it's a fun thing to do. Just go over there, Apple Podcast, sign up and get entered to win.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yep.
Let's see. Should we do some reviews?
Not today.
Okay.
I think we're going to have a full episode today.
Okay.
So we got some fun things to go over.
We should try to do reviews at least once a month. Just in the
that's fair.
We'll start in February.
That's fair.
So we don't fall too far behind.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Is there anything else? What else is there on housekeeping stuff? We did the monthly giveaway. Talked a little bit about February, what the plans are for the February's giveaway. Yep. We did the reviews giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
The treasure hunt tokens, have we posted that?
We have not. I don't know if I can post that live. That's on, I think it's either your side and I have access to it entering, but I don't know if I can post it live or not.
The URL. Okay.
We need to do that. That's on our list to do.
Yep.
So we will post that live. And as soon as we do, I'll put a link down in the description for that, and we'll notify everybody.
Sweet.
Yep.
I think that's it then. Let's take a quick break. We'll hear from our friends with the show sponsors, and we'll be right on back with kind of what we've been up to over the past week.
Are you stuck inside? Are you not sure where you want to go to explore? We'll open the Onyx Off-Road app. It shows you all the trails around you, and it tells you their difficulty. Now you can quickly search out your next adventure or plan your next trip. Download Onyx Off-Road from the App Store. Onyx Off-Road, built for the adventurer.
Welcome back, ladies and germs, to today's kind of what we've been up to, what the shenanigans we've been getting into, how our weekend was, how our week was in between. I know Jimmy and I have this proclivity to, that's a big word. That's a nice Scrabble word. To get ourselves into fun situations, which hopefully helps you guys live vicariously through us and our shenanigans. So we were up to shenanigans, and we have stories to tell. So
we do indeed.
Who goes first?
I don't care.
All right.
Yeah, I think I went first last time, so why don't you go first this time?
We need to have a thing on the board that we can flip over.
Yeah.
Jimmy's turn, Tyler's turn, Jimmy's turn. Anyways, if you guys are all watching in video land, Jimmy came in and painted the backboard here, so it looks all nice and pretty.
It's all black now.
Mm-hmm. And I disappear in my torso right now.
It's like we're not going to be allowed to wear black attire. But yeah, now I just got to put the plates up.
Yep.
And
then hook up all the electronics.
Hook up the electronics and build the table.
That's right.
So that's on the to-do list.
I have a lot of broken parts we could build a table out of right now.
Yeah.
Anyways. All right, let's see. What was I up to this weekend?
Yes.
I got to work on the mule.
Okay.
It was fun. I really do. I'm finding that after 2 years of dedicating almost all my time to the business and the kid, that I'm having a lot of fun going out and working on the vehicle again.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so this weekend was a lot of fun. I found so essentially what happened was out at Winter Fun Fest, I think we talked about this.
We did. Yeah.
The compressor stopped behaving properly. The ARB twin compressor that's packed into the interior rear interior quarter panel area, right? In the cargo area. And so essentially what was going on was the compressor would not shut off, which tells me that either A, there's a leak, and I tested the lockers, and the lockers were disengaging just fine, and they seemed to hold air pressure in the lines between the solenoids and the lockers.
Okay.
So either there's an air leak between the compressor and the solenoid manifold.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is a short 10-inch stainless steel braided line, so unlikely, but possible. Or the compressor is not responding anymore to the pressure cutoff switch internal to the compressor.
Yes.
Which ARB's internal pressure cutoff switches are a 135 on, 150 off.
Okay.
Pressure cutoff switch internal. Or the relay is stuck open, and therefore it's bypassing the on-off switch for the relay and taking the full power coming off the battery and just constantly providing it to the motors, which I think is the most likely culprit.
Sure. And you talked about pulling fuses last time.
I had to pull the fuses in order to turn the compressor off.
Right.
Yeah.
Which leads me to more of an electrical issue than a line issue.
Agreed.
So
I would agree.
You dove into this, and what did you discover?
So I had to pull all the interior out.
Oh, that's right.
Of the Mule.
Yeah, because it's tucked away.
It's tucked away back there. So that was a job to kind of get into and learn how a 4th gen 4Runner interior stuff is all put together, which I will say is much nicer than how the 2nd gen is put together. It's much easier to access things.
Okay.
But the first time you dig into stuff, it just takes a lot longer because you're trying to be careful, figure it out as you go.
Discovering.
Yep. You're not just ripping it apart. Right.
Right.
So that took a little bit to get into. I will say, man, where they stashed that twin ARB compressor on a bracket, and what they did was they took the pinch seams from the wheel well and the interior sheet metal, where those two come together on inside, and the pinch seam for what would that be? The A, B, C, D pillar, essentially the rear corner of the vehicle. In between those two pinch seams, they built a bracket and riv nutted, so not pop riveted, but riv nutted into those two pinch seams and had the bracket inside of those pinch seams between the pinch seams and then the exterior sheet metal body of the quarter panel.
Okay, so the bracket was closest to the plastic on the inside, internal, and then it went from inside to outside. It goes plastic, bracket, ARB, then outer sheet metal.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so I was like, okay, cool. I mean, that's fine. No problem. If it fits, it fits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting it out of there, I had to bend the pinch seams away to make enough room to get that whole unit out from that location. I'm like, I don't know how they got it in there. I really don't.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, I don't know if I can get this whole thing back in here either.
Well, so you pulled the bracket off? Or could you just take the ARB out?
No, because the ARB was on the inside of the bracket.
And there wasn't enough room to just pull that out.
No,
okay. So
definitely not. I had to undo and pull the whole bracket. So they installed the solenoid manifold and the ARB compressor on the bracket, and then put all of that unit into the interior paneling.
Right.
And then riv nutted it together with bolts and riv nuts into the pinch seams on the pinch seams.
Okay.
I had to bend the pinch seams out in order to pull the compressor and unit out of there. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get this back in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did to get it in there, but I don't know if I can get it out.
Sure.
So upon inspection of initial inspections of stuff, the compressor had worn spots on it of where it's hitting the exterior quarter panel.
Oh, interesting.
So it's really shoved in there and tight,
really tight,
very tight
yeah.
in there. And on the interior of the fourth gen quarter panels, the body, the interior side of the exterior sheet metal,
yes,
has like a rubbery foam substance on it.
Interesting.
It's a very thin layer, but I think it's there to help with sound deadening.
Probably, yeah.
There was a ton of that now caked onto the compressor because of it being smashed in there and vibrating on that rubber foam. So it essentially removed a lot of the rubber foam from that sheet metal, and it now lives on the compressor.
Yes.
Not a big deal, right? As long as I don't hit that quarter panel and smash it on a rock or something.
Right. But now is the compressor getting over hot because it now has sort of a insulating layer on it?
I think that it could in the future. I don't think the issue that it's having was due to overheating.
Yes.
I don't know.
It could be a potential problem.
Could be a potential problem in the future though. Okay. So anyways, I took it out. And then I was going to pull the whole compressor apart and start testing the relay and the pressure switch and everything. But I have a new product with Morphlate that I've been working on for a little bit. This is not the big product that I've been working on for a couple of years, about a year now. But it's kind of another thing that we're trying to throw into the product catalog because we've had some requests for it from Ultra 4 race teams.
Oh.
So I was like, this would be a great opportunity to test it in the Mule.
Okay.
And so I have the prototype of it.
Yeah.
That is essentially, it's not something that we are engineering from the ground up. We're starting with a white labeled unit and then going through it to figure out what we need to do to bring it up to our standards.
Sure.
So we made some modifications to it in-house and then got it ready to be put into a vehicle. And so I had to modify the ARB bracket and weld some other things to it. So that I could put on a very tiny air compressor that's designed, and the whole goal of it is just to run air lockers.
Oh.
But the whole point of it is that it's very tiny so it can be packaged anywhere you want.
Almost anywhere, sure.
Yeah. And it has a very low power draw. So you can run it directly off of devices like Switch Pros, S-Pods, aux beam switch panels. It only pulls 10 amps.
Okay.
So you don't need to have complex relay wiring harnesses set up for them. The whole goal is to have it be a very simplified solution to power air lockers.
Yes, I like it.
In anything
that requires for an air locker.
For an air locker, right? So you're not going to use it to air up tires. It doesn't put out enough airflow to put out air tires, but it puts out enough air pressure to run air lockers.
Okay. Cool.
So,
good testing ground.
Great testing, great opportunity.
Yes.
Because the Mule has air lockers. And it's a very tight space to put a compressor into. So I was like, this will be awesome. So anyways, got that all installed, ran tests on it, just initially and without putting it all back into the panel. And everything was working great. I ran its own wiring into the Mule's Switch Pro.
Okay.
So I got to do some research and learn how the solid state Switch Pros work, because they work differently and you wire them differently from like the switch panels that you have in Bobcat and I have in Kermit. Mm-hmm. So solid state runs a little differently, CAN bus stuff. So wiring that up, figuring out how that worked. I had to spend some time researching that. But I ran its own wire.
Okay.
Which means I had to take apart all the interior on the driver's side of the Mule to run wiring.
Yeah.
All through there, back through the firewall and into the Switch Pro module. But I got all that done and I left the ARB wiring harness in because it was all tied together into one giant wiring harness from when Stellar moved the battery to the rear cargo area. So the ARB wiring harness is tied into the main wires, power wires that run the length of the vehicle.
Oh,
to run the vehicle all together. So I got to learn a little bit more about how the Mule is all wired up.
Yes.
And they did a good job. They just did it in a way that I wouldn't have done it.
Sure.
Because it's all wired together. So now in order to get access to any of the individual wiring systems, you have to take apart the entire fucking wiring harness.
Yeah.
So I just I don't want to deal with that now. I may end up putting an ARB back in here. I don't know. I may put something else in here. So I just left all the ARB wiring for the meantime, and I'll rip it out later once I find a permanent solution. I'm not doing prototype testing anymore. So I ran its own wiring. And it's all working great. I'm very impressed with it.
Okay.
And I wired plumbed the air pneumatics into the ARB solenoid manifold. So the tiny little compressor charges that manifold. And then when you turn on the locker, the solenoid opens up and lets air into the air lines to engage and lock the ARB lockers in the diffs. All works great.
Cool.
So I'm like, sweet. Awesome. So I'm driving around to test the lockers and make sure that everything engages, disengages properly, check charge times of that little manifold, because one concern is that compressor it's a tiny compressor. It doesn't put out a lot of volume.
Right.
But it puts out the air pressure needed to engage lockers.
Okay.
And so the question was, is it going to put out a slow enough volume that it won't be able to engage an air locker properly? Which ended up not being the case.
Okay.
Because essentially, if that is the case, then that just means you need a bigger solenoid manifold reserve. So that when you turn on the lockers, the ARB lockers only need 70, 75 PSI to engage.
But then is there so let me back up. I don't know a whole lot about ARB lockers. I've never really dealt with them.
Yeah.
For the most part. So the solenoid, to me, a solenoid is like an on-off switch. So this thing's letting the air through or out into the line or stopping it from going into the line, right?
It's an electronically controlled valve.
Yes.
That is open or closed.
Right. And when it's open, it's letting air pass through it to engage the locker. And when it's closed, the vents air out and the locker disengages.
Yep.
So I think is your question, does it have enough, does the compressor have enough airflow to be able to charge the air locker,
the locker enough, and the air line from the solenoid to the locker,
right?
Quick enough to engage the locker.
Yes. Okay,
so
gotcha.
We have I tested it with a 80 on 100 PSI off pressure cutoff switch.
Okay.
So that means that little tiny solenoid manifold from ARB was charged to 100 PSI. So the question is there enough air in that tiny manifold to then charge the air lines and the locker itself with 70 PSI?
Sure.
And that answer is yes.
Doesn't that answer also depend on the line length?
Yep.
Okay.
100%. Yep. More length you have in the line, the more volume you have inside the line as well.
You're going to need more volume.
Yes, to fill the line to that pressure.
Pressure.
Yep. Correct. So if you start, and this is a lot of things. I get this question a lot with Morphlate and with people trying to design onboard air systems.
Okay.
With air tanks.
Sure.
They assume that if you have a 1 gallon air tank pressurized to 150 PSI, that is enough volume to fill 4 40-inch tires to 30 PSI.
Sure.
And it's not. And it's not anywhere close.
Yeah.
And so what they don't understand is a lot of people will be like, I don't get it. I hook it up and then the air tank drains and it should have 150 PSI in it, but the pressure says that it's only 10 PSI now.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, what's in your tires? They're like 10 PSI. I'm like, yeah, because you've drained all the pressure, your air reserve out of the tank. It's now in your tires. You just didn't have enough volume reserve in the tank to make any appreciable difference in the pressure in your tires. So now the tank is just a really thick airline at this point in time while you're airing up your tires. It's not building up pressure in the tank. It's not doing any of that. It's acting and functionally the same as an air hose between your compressor and your tire right now.
Right. The way I've always pictured that is if I have a 1 gallon tank at like 120 PSI.
Yep.
And I want my tires at 40 PSI.
Yep.
How many gallons of volume does my tire take? Right.
Ding, ding,
and
ding,
the thing
ding.
is, like, you could fit, if I want to go to 40, and the tank's at 120, that's 3 1 gallons tanks size at 40 PSI. If you divide 120 divided by
4
40,
tires,
by 4. Well, no, I'm just saying even into 1 tire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It turns out to be, if you took 1 gallon tank and divided it into 4, trying to get 40 PSI, that would be 3 gallons, 3 1 gallon tanks at 40 PSI. So
do you have more than 3 gallons of volume in your tire?
In your tire.
Yes.
Yes. A lot more.
Yes. I think people underestimate the power of pi.
Sure,
a lot of times. And it comes back to what we talked about a few episodes ago of the power of scalability.
Okay. Yeah.
And our the ability for the human brain to wrap around scaling large numbers. When you look at, you can guesstimate the volume of a tire, right? Volume of a cylinder is pi r squared. It's length times width times height, right? And your length and width is pi r squared. That's area.
And then times
your height. So the thickness of your tire, right? So if you want to figure out the volume of a 40-inch tire, you take 40 times pi times squared. 40 pi squared is the area.
Yes.
And then however thick your tire is, say you have a 13.5-inch wide tire. So you take 40 pi squared times 13.5.
Shall we do it?
And then you subtract the volume that your rim, your wheel would take up. So yeah, we can do the math real quick.
I think we can.
You should have pi as an option on your phone's calculator.
I do.
If not, you can type in 3.141592.
Pi
squared.
So that it comes out to be, if I typed it in right, which haven't done this kind of math in a while, 394.8.
So 395 square inches is the area of 1 inch volume of a 1 inch volume, right? So now multiply that 300. Was it 95?
It was. I messed it up. I'm on my scientific calculator. I don't know. So 40 pi squared. Equals. Let's just say. It's 394.8.
So 395.
395.
Yep. Multiply that by the width of your tire, 13.5
times 13.
13.5.
This is where I messed up last time. 395 times 13.
0.5.
Sure. Is 5,332.5.
So the volume of your tire and wheel combo is that number.
Is over 5,000
cubic inches.
Let's divide that by 12. Oops. I screwed up. Anyways, we'll move on.
Anyways, you take the volume of your wheel and tire combo.
Yeah.
And then subtract your wheel.
Right.
So just guesstimate you have a 17-inch rim at 9 inches wide. So you can figure out that volume the same way we figure out the volume of the tire.
17.
You want to go through all this? Okay.
For fun.
Okay, we're doing it for funsies.
It's 100 and so the wheel / rim combo came out, rough math, about 5,000. The wheel itself
17
is 167.
So that's 17 pi squared.
So if I do I then times that by 13 too? 167 times.
Sorry, hold on. Because area is pi r squared. So that's radius, which is half of the diameter. We've been doing tire diameters. So take the 5,000, I believe, and divide it by 2. Hold on. Time out.
Wheel and tire was 16,328.
Yeah.
The wheel, so 17-inch wheel.
Yep. 9-inch width.
17
17 by 9 wheel.
Oh, I did 13 because I was just subtracting that same height. Because all that area is missing.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
So to me, it didn't matter how wide your wheel was because there's no error in that entire void.
Up above or below.
And this is only a rough guesstimate anyway, because the inside of the tire is curved
and there's radiuses. Yeah.
So I did
that's fair.
Pi r squared with, so r was half of 17, which is 8.5. So pi 8.5 squared times 13 came out to be 2,950. So I did roughly 16,000 minus the 2,001 came out to be 13,378 cubic inches.
So yeah, okay. So the volume, the rough estimate of a volume of a tire is 13,378 cubic inches.
Yeah. And we can probably
so there are roughly 231, not roughly, it is 231 cubic inches per gallon.
Yeah.
So we need to do 13,378 divided by 231.
I'm on it. Okay. So math on podcast fun.
Yep. This is riveting.
13,378 divided by
231
is 57.9.
So the rough estimate of the volume of a 40-inch tire is 57.9?
58 gallons.
58 gallons. So if you're trying to take your 1 gallon air tank and fill a 1 gallon air tank at 150 PSI and fill a 58 gallon container, you're not getting very far.
No.
So anyways, it's not a lot of volume to
where do we start with
an airline from the solenoid to a differential.
Right. And what is the ID of that line?
I want to say it's a 1/8 brake line is what they're used in there. So it's really not a whole lot of volume. So the question is, there enough volume in that little manifold to properly charge and pressurize a locker?
Yes.
And the answer was yes, as I was doing my testing.
Cool.
So
new product might be coming out, maybe a little leak there, but it sounds like it's functioning properly so far.
We have a few tweaks that we need to make to our spec callouts and the engineering of the compressor to make it exactly what we want it. But prototype testing is going very well.
Nice.
So
okay.
Did that.
Yeah.
And then I also, while I was all in there, I was dealing with the electrical circuits and learning about how the Mule is wired.
Okay.
I decided to do a little bit more diving into troubleshooting the starting issue on the Mule.
What's going on with the starting?
So the prevailing theory before was that the battery kept getting drained by the Mule.
Okay, so there was a
parasitic draw on the battery.
Yeah. Okay.
So therefore,
the battery cutoff switch was put
the
installed.
Battery cutoff switches were installed, right? The battery cutoff switches didn't always work. In order to, like, you would have the thing fully charged, be driving it around, right, and then park it, immediately cut off the battery cutoff switch. And then come back the next day, turn the battery switch on, and it would have trouble starting. And what it was doing was it would go click, 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 click. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so the battery was dying.
So something, in my opinion, is going on with the battery, I think, more than the wiring of the Mule.
Sure. Yeah. So the battery, you just need a new battery.
In theory.
Yeah.
So I wanted to test that though and start doing some more troubleshooting on the battery to figure out, right? So what I did was during this whole process, I took the battery out of the Mule and set it down in my garage in a place where it's not going to ground out to the concrete of the garage. And let it sit for overnight.
Okay.
And then checked voltages on it. The voltage never changed.
Okay.
It stayed at 12.3, 12.4, right in there. So then I hooked it back up to the Mule at 12.3, 12.4, which should be a full battery for a wet cell lead acid battery.
Yes.
Hooked up to the Mule and it had trouble starting. So I had two theories then. Then I looked at when was the battery manufactured? They didn't puncture the dates on the battery to say when it was manufactured. So there's no manufacturing date on the battery. I looked in the cells. The cells all have liquid in them and they're properly filled. So I'm like, okay, that should be fine. Looking at the rating of the battery is rated for a max cold cranking amp.
This is what I was going to ask.
Of 760.
Okay. And what is the requirement?
Really, for a V8, you want to have about 800.
Okay. So you might be a little low there, maybe.
Which kind of makes sense for considering that it goes click, 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 click. Okay, here we go. And it starts, right? Whenever I hook up my jump starter, my jump battery, my battery booster pack to the Mule, it cranks over and fires right away.
Okay.
And that I know has a cranking amp of 1,000 cranking amps.
Oh, yeah.
So I have two theories. Another thing going on is that when they wired in the transmission coolers and the fans for the transmission coolers, they wired in the fans to always be on.
So they're drawing power immediately.
And electric fans draw quite a bit of power. So when I'm looking at the voltage display of the vehicle, once I have the key on in accessory mode, the voltage display shows 11.2.
Because it's already
the fans are going. The fans are probably combined. Those fans probably pull 40 to 45 amps.
Yeah. Wow.
So either I need, and another thing that could be going on is the battery could be dropping a cell. And therefore it has just barely enough cranking amps for a V8 to start with
already. And now you're down.
And now it's downing and now it's coming down in cranking amp ability. Plus there's a 40, 45 amp draw on the battery while it's trying to start the starter anyways.
Sure.
So I think I need to try and rewire the fans to be on a thermocoupler, a thermo switch.
Yeah, or just wire them so that they come on when the vehicle's actually running, not to accessory part.
Yeah. But then the problem is that as soon as you try and go to start the starter, well, I guess I could tap into a circuit that comes on after everything's on. So I'd have to figure out where that when those circuits are. That would be a good way to do it, an easier way to do it.
Right.
I just need to find that circuit. So yeah, that's a good point. Or I need a better battery with more cranking amps.
Well, it sounds like you should do both.
I really should do both, honestly. Right. So
you don't need the fan. Like it's easy to have the fans on. Like it's easy to wire the fans to turn on as soon as there's power on the battery.
Yep.
That's an easy move, right? But that's not the best move.
Yep.
And it sounds like you need a bigger battery.
I think it needs a better cranking amped battery.
Yeah. And you wanted to get away from the liquid anyway.
I want to get away from
whether
liquid,
you go
wet
to
cells,
a gel or a solid state of some sort. Then that's up to you. But you wanted you were always leaning towards getting another battery anyway.
For sure.
So it just is now pushing you over the edge.
Yeah. I wanted to try and diagnose and figure out, is it a parasitic draw though? Or is it a battery issue? Or is it these two fans that come on? I think I've got it down to, because I tested all the electrical circuits. I didn't test the Baja lights and the Switch Pro and the ARB circuits, because that's really all the electrical modifications that have been added to the Mule.
Right.
And they're on their own circuit. I didn't test that one for any parasitic draws, but all the stock wiring seems to have no parasitic draws in it. And I was able to do that with that fuse inline fuse amperage tester, which is pretty cool. It's very handy to have.
I need it.
I've had a couple people reach out to me after that episode and be like, can you still tell me what you got? Which one you got? And I was like, sure, here you go. So I got that counted out, I think. And then I bought a battery tester.
Okay.
They're like $35, but I haven't been able to put it on the battery yet to see if it is actually dropping a cell. But I think that the cranking amperage of the battery is already kind of getting maxed out with the V8.
Right. Can you disconnect the wire for the fans and then just try to crank it?
I could.
And then see
I could
if
do that too. Just pull the relay on it real quick. That would be a good test.
And if it's cold, then you don't need those fans running right away anyway. So, if you're just doing it in the morning and first start, you can crank it and see if that gives you the problem.
Yep. True. That would be another good way to go about it. So, I think I have a couple more things that I could do to really nail down the problem, but it's looking like the problem is pointing towards the battery just not being sized appropriately for the Mule and what it needs to start. So
is there, I'm not an electrical nerd enough to know, but is there some sort of thing, I would assume it's something like a capacitor that you would delay the start of the fans once you hit accessory? Like if you went to accessory, it needs a certain amount of power to go through it before it powers the fans that you could just put in line so that it
slows down the power draw to the fans.
Yeah. So that
I don't know if there is, there might be like a time delayed switch kind of thing.
Yeah.
A time delay relay.
That's just like, if you had a long enough wire, right? It would take it so long to get to the fans, you would already be started.
I mean, electricity travels at the speed of light. So.
I'm just saying it's like,
but yes, in theory,
that is like you could delay the start of the fans just enough so that you can start the engine.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've thought about putting the fans on a switch, but then the problem is
if you forget to turn that on.
I'm not driving or I forget to turn it on.
Yeah.
I really like the way I had the electric fans wired on Kermit before I went to the manual fan.
With the temperature probe?
With the temperature probe. That worked awesome. But it's hard to find those temperature relays.
Yeah.
Like I've been looking around and it's hard to find them. So, I haven't looked for them in a while. I think that would ultimately be the way I would want to do it. So that way the transmission can also get up to temperature properly quicker. And then I can keep it at the correct operating temperature better rather than just having the fans on 24/7.
Right.
It would also allow me to have the accessories on while at camp running music out of the Mule without drawing 40-45 amps with the fans while I'm making dinner.
Well, and then you got to crank the music louder because now you got to play over the fans.
Exactly. So, I think ultimately those fans need to get rewired anyways, but I'm also looking at that battery. I'm like, I think I want a stronger cranking amps battery to start a V8 anyways.
Sure.
Anyways, getting to dig into that all this weekend too was fun in my opinion.
Sure. Okay.
So learned some new things about the Mule. It's also one of the fun, exciting things about owning a new vehicle.
Yeah.
You get to learn new things about it and what are its little intricacies and the way you want to set the vehicle up for yourself kind of thing. So, going through that process and it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to allude to what happened after the weekend?
No, I'm in a happy place right now talking about nerdy electrical stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to go into a dark place.
All right. Now. Sounds good. So then is it my turn?
Yes. Go.
All right. I like that.
Okay.
So, I went whiskey tasting. We had
Fun.
I'm in the Monk Cellar Whiskey Club.
Yeah.
Which they alluded that they might not be able to continue this next year.
Oh, like 2026 or 27?
2027.
Okay.
Because the new law went into effect during COVID that said that they were allowed to sell bars are allowed to sell bottles of alcohol.
Okay.
Right. And that ends 2026, the law. And so the question is, are they going to continue this law or not?
I doubt it.
I hope they do. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I mean, for a few different reasons. In theory, you can still buy to-go cocktails if you buy food.
Due to COVID laws. Yeah.
Yes, due to the COVID laws. So I hope they amend, like, I don't think that's a good idea.
Correct. Yeah.
But I don't see why a bar should not be allowed to sell a bottle of whiskey or bourbon or rye or gin or vodka or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if they're selling,
if Bevmo can sell it and let a person drive home with it.
Yeah. Why can't
then
a bar
should be able to? That's a fair point. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like, I don't think anyways, there's a lot of nuances that could go into it, but I don't want to go there. I just wanted to say, like, I just like the idea that a bar should be able to sell a bottle. Like, if you drink at a bar and you're like, I really like that whiskey. Do you have any more of, like, do you have a bottle of that I can buy?
Yep.
You should be able to buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and the cool thing about what Monk's does is you buy a bottle, but you leave it there.
Yeah.
So whenever you come in for dinner or drinks or whatever, you get free drinks, right? Essentially, because you're using your liquor that you own that's stored there at the bar.
Yeah. And I think they can reword that.
Yeah.
So that, like, I'm buying 13 drinks.
Okay. Yeah.
And
that's
so
fair.
they can continue that. But
so you have a gift card.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so, but the way that it works, so I'll back up here. This last week we had our end of the year / beginning of this year party. So we had the end of 2025 party, but the sign up party for 2026.
Okay.
Right. And every time we do this, they do a blind tasting of a few different whiskeys, and we all sit down, we sample the whiskeys. They have a piece of paper and it's labeled ABC and then 1, 2, 3. And you, right. And you
it's
say,
a good song.
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Jackson 5. I don't think
little Michael.
Yeah. Little Michael Jackson 5. So you said, which did you like, A, B, or C the most, and which one did you like second?
You rate them 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were there for the party. They announced that they might not be able to continue this next year, depending how the law goes. And so we ranked the whiskeys, and let's see. I have a photo of mine. And then from that, I'll be able to tell you how the assistant rated hers as well.
Okay.
It is right here. So I went CAB.
Cab. Okay.
Cab. Right. The assistant went ACB.
Okay.
So slightly different.
Both of you were on the same B.
Yeah. We both rated B as third.
Okay.
And then we had our number 1 and 2 switched.
Okay.
And what was funny, what I liked about this is the blind whiskeys were whiskeys that pretty much, I would say, like 99% of the people in this club have had before.
Okay.
And they're all very well known and sort of a slightly higher escalon than, just something you grab at the grocery store.
Kirkland whiskey or Kirkland bourbon. Yeah. Okay.
So there was Eagle Rare.
Okay.
I believe it was a 10-year. B was Blanton's.
Okay.
Which is like hard to get and a good whiskey, right? And C was E.H. Taylor.
Okay.
And so I rated E.H. Taylor first, Eagle Rare second, Blanton's third.
Okay.
And the assistant switched them. She went
Eagle Rare and
Eagle Rare, then E.H. Taylor, then Blanton's. Okay. The assistant had the order that the majority of the people in the audience did.
Okay. So she's a plain Jane.
Well, but what I got from that is a lot of people chose E.H. Taylor and Eagle Rare over Blanton's.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And Blanton's is supposed to be this like amazing whiskey.
Yeah.
But when you're tasting them side by side and you're tasting them blind, you're only going off of your taste and what you're liking in that moment.
Yep.
And most of the people did not like Blanton's as much. So I thought that was funny. So
that would be really funny to do that lineup with Kirkland whiskey in there as well as a fourth one.
Sure.
And just see where everybody came out.
The first year they did this, they did it all $30 or less whiskeys.
Okay.
And it was funny. The old granddad came out number 1. And so I was like, well, I guess I better buy a bottle of that.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a bottle of that on my shelf. So before we even knew what the whiskeys were, they had a lineup of a whole bunch of whiskeys that were for sale and available, and Eagle Rare Blanton's, E.H. Taylor. There was some, I'm drawing a blank. There was like 5 or 6 other ones available. Some of them, and ranging from like $30. The old granddad was up there, $30 to like $300 and something a bottle. Ones there was some rare ones up there. And before we even knew what was on the blind tasting, the assistant's like, "Oh, I really like the Eagle Rare. I think I want to buy a bottle of that to bring home." And we're like, "Okay, cool." And then she chose Eagle Rare first. Yeah. Right. And then I chose E.H. Taylor, and I'm like, well, I guess I better buy an E.H. Taylor and bring that home. So we ended up going home with 2 bottles, E.H. Taylor and the Eagle Rare. And then our gift for the end of the year was a bottle from a distillery down in San Francisco, actually in Alameda. And so, no, these were from San Francisco, someplace distilling in San Francisco. And, because the assistant and I are both in the club, though we have different memberships, we both got one of the bottles. So I'm going to be bringing one of those bottles down for the whiskey tasting. Down that happens in Jason's trailer at King of the Hammers. So that'll be fun. So, but I thought that was interesting because it was what I really got from that is like everybody says Blanton's is this amazing whiskey, and it actually turned out that it wasn't the flavor of choice at this event. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to talk about is panels, because I have some new panels coming out.
Cool.
So I just wanted to do a little release of that. So I have a 1st gen Tundra panel being released probably this week. I think I'm going to try to get it out here in the next, or I got it out yesterday, or maybe today I'll be releasing that. I have very limited supply, and I am emailing the people that have asked for it first. So that might not even be available once it actually comes to public.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works out. I also have the 2nd gen Raptors, I think it is, that are going to be coming out. The F-150 Raptor.
Nice.
I think it's like 14th gen F-150 or whatever it is. I should get the numbers of that soon, or the actual dates of that one online. And then almost released, and in the just kind of need to go to powder coating with, is OBS, Ford OBS panels.
Nice.
So like Clifford, and so like I don't know how far back it goes. I would say maybe 88 through 96, 97.
Okay.
Those panels for F-250s, F-350s are going to be coming out very, very shortly. They pretty much need another week or so, and then some powder coating, and then those will be coming out as well. So I've got some 3 panels that were in the works for a few months now and are finally hitting the market. So that's pretty fun.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. Excited for that. I think we should talk about the torch next.
Yeah, those are fun.
Those are fun.
So we talked about the torch on last time. Was it the previous
Thursday.
episode? Last Thursday. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it was last episode. Anyways, one of the last 2 episodes, Tyler gave me a gift. And you bought some for the shop, your managers.
Yes.
And then it was like, you got a better deal if you bought one more. So then I got one.
Yep.
And it's great.
They're awesome.
It scares my cats if I use it inside.
Okay.
They don't like it. Gets loud and it throws a lot of flame.
Yep.
So I don't think
it gets hot.
And it gets hot.
I was very impressed with how hot it was getting.
And the cats, I don't think like the noise.
Okay.
So every time I turn it on to start the fire in the house.
Yeah.
The cats run all over the place.
Okay.
But we also, this last Sunday, we had a burn pile. And so I went out and I started the whole burn pile with, I'm like cardboard and some newspaper and like shed the thing from any of the elements the night before. So it stays as dry as possible. And then, light it with a match and then hope that the foliage catches, that then catches the small branches, then catches the bigger branches. Yep. And I didn't do any of that. Okay. I just walked out there with the
torch,
flame throwing torch thing, lit it, stood it up right next to the burn pile near the base and let it go for a little while. And then it started burning farther up and I turned it off and took it away. I probably ran it for 2 to 3 minutes straight.
Okay.
And then the whole burn pile started going up and I was like, sweet, don't need that anymore. So set that a ways away. And then I was so giddy on using the torch to light the burn pile. I was like, oh, I should probably go get the water. So like we always have a hose out by the burn pile whenever we run the burn pile just in case. And I was like, oh, I completely I just wanted to light it, test it out. So then I went and got all the tools and everything to do the burn pile. That was fun. That worked out really well. So thank you for that. Good. That's a great gift.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to use mine to light my fire pit in the backyard.
Okay.
I'm almost out of firewood, so I might have to make a trip up to the ranch to steal some firewood from you. But I was like, I cleaned out my office this weekend as well.
This one or the one at your house?
At my house.
Okay.
And
you had a bunch of paper.
I had a ton of paper with old bank info, insurance info, all this stuff on it. And I was like, I just need to get the fire pit going, just burn all this.
We do that with the burn pit. At one point during the year, we end up throwing as a business, I think you're supposed to hold like 7 years back. So 8-year-old taxes onto the burn pile.
Yep. So I did that and I was like, plus I get to use the torch now. I'll play with the torch. And it worked awesome. It was very cool. Makes lighting fires very easy.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, pretty safe too. It's a very direct flame. And you very well know where it's going to go.
Right. And you can
very
variable the speed of and how the pressure of the fire coming out.
It's got an adjustable valve for the propane to go through. So I was impressed with how hot it got too. Like I'm thinking it's a propane thing. I'm used to like a propane torch in a garage putting out like this tiny little flame. Yeah. You're like, it kind of works to get things hot enough to have very pinpointed heat on something, but you kind of have to sit there for a while. And no, this thing puts out heat.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with it all. So
I was talking to Hussman on Thursday when he came over last Thursday. And I was telling him that I got that and I think I'm going to try to use it instead because I'm going to start welding up the axle and welding up the truss that's on the axle and then some of the brackets and everything on there. And I was like, this axle's so thick, I needed to use the map gas to heat that up. And I was like, well, I think I'm going to use this mini torch thing that Tyler got. And he's like, it's propane, right? I'm like, yeah, but it throws out so much more fire than those little torches do that I have. And I'm like, it's like the huge, like weed burner style one, and he's like, well, try it. See if you burn, if you weld a good weld, then it'll work, And I was like, I'm going to, and I'm pretty certain after the few times I've used it now that you're even saying it, I'm like, it's hotter than I think the little map gas thing
for
is.
Sure.
So I think it'll work well.
The company claims that it'll put out at max flow, 1800 degrees is how hot that flame will get.
Dang.
Which is extremely hot. I have reserves on if it gets that hot.
Like that's going to melt my metal.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I don't think it gets that hot. Not. And I don't know how much of it is marketing fluff. But I think it'll work amazingly well for preheating axles for welding.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that'll be a fun test. So going in line with that, first of all, thank you again. Yeah. That was really cool. But yeah, so Husband came over this last Thursday and we were talking about the torch, but then we started talking about Samantha. We really didn't do a lot of work this Thursday, but we did a lot of like talking about what needs to get done, what stages are we at, where are things going. Like, we talked a bit about like how the muffler is going to get run or the exhaust is going to run, because now I've got links in the way of where the muffler normally sits. Right. And we were talking about drive shaft angle and the rotation, and we were playing with the shock location was a big one. As we playing a lot about where the rear shocks are going to go. Yeah. Right now at first we put it all the way up, full compression, both sides compressed. And we were looking at them like, I don't think we're going to need to do any coping on the frame whatsoever.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like sent a photo to Brian and I was like, hey, is this right? Like, am I looking at this correct? Like,
will this work
just fine? And my follow-up question is actually, how should I position shocks on trailing arms? Because it's kind of on an axle, you can kind of position them almost any way you want, right? Mm-hmm. They can be leaning in, they can be leaning forward or back. You get performance benefits one where different directions you go for different behaviors. Things. For high speed, maybe you want it one way, or for articulation, maybe you want it the other way. But then, like if you lean it in, it works okay, good for articulation, but it's not good for like street driving and higher speed stuff. And so really the answer that I kind of got from Brian, there was a lot of discussion, but the simplest answer I got was you at full compression, you want the shock to be perpendicular to the trailing arm.
Okay.
But we did not decide if it could be leaned in at perpendicular or not. So it really might be that at full compression, and then he said due to his geometry, at articulation is the worst position for the base of the shock, meaning that it's the farthest out exterior from the vehicle. So full compression is not the maximum position where it is the shock is furthest exterior to the vehicle.
Okay.
So we were playing, then we went to try to put it at full articulation. And the thing is, I can't get to full articulation.
You can't compress the spring in it too? Or?
No. I can't drop the axle far enough.
Oh.
I need to lift the frame higher.
Okay.
To put the axle farther down from where I'm at, because I'm getting over, I'm getting over 20 inches of articulation in the
articulated
rear.
travel?
Articulated travel in the rear or something like that.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's impressive.
Because what's Bobcat's rear? I get 33, but that is both front and rear.
That's when you lift both front and rear. That's not just.
But when we lifted it from the rear, the rear tire went up 33 inches, but that's
before
also
it lifted a front tire.
Before it lifted another, or I think it was the other rear tire in my case. But that is also the front articulating in conjunction to the rear.
Yep.
And I'm getting around 20 inches of articulation
just in the rear. I think you'll
Samantha.
get more than 13 inches of articulation in the front.
Yes.
So
yes, I do too.
So I think you're going to be Bobcat by handily.
Easy. Yeah. So, and it was something like we had the driver side on a jack, and then we had the passenger side jacked up because I have two jacks.
Okay.
And the driver side needed to go down. And so the driver side was all the way down at the base of as low as the jack could go. Mm-hmm. And it still needed to go down. We estimated 9 more inches.
Wow.
To make it to get to that 20-ish range.
Okay.
And so it was 3 or 4 inches to the concrete.
Yeah.
And it was okay, I need to go another 5-ish inches down below the concrete level. So in theory, I need to lift the frame up at least 5 inches to even get the articulation so I can get full articulation to measure that distance. So all that said, it still looks like I might not really have to cope the frame or that much.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of talk about having to cut a chunk of the frame out and reroute the frame out or in, depending on how I wanted to run things so that the shock had room. But really, it looks like I might just have to cut an inch out of the bottom of the frame and a few inches up and then plate it at an angle.
Nice.
And that would be all I really need.
That's cool.
One of my question is for the fabricators out there.
All right.
Is how the coils wiggle around or in theory, they shouldn't, but sometimes if the proper pressure's on them, coils can kind of jiggle in when they're loose.
Yep. So
how much space from the coil to a metal object should I leave?
Do you need for clearance?
Do I need 3/8, half an inch?
Yeah.
What range is that?
Yeah.
Is it only a quarter because it really shouldn't move that much, or should I leave upwards of half an inch because just to be safe scenario? Yeah. So that's my question for everybody. Is how much gap do you normally leave on something like that?
Okay.
I've never dealt with coils, so I don't know. Yeah. And Hussman has ORIs on his, so he doesn't have an
He's never dealt with coils either.
He's dealt with coils, but doesn't have a ton of experience with them.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking for the knowledgeable fabricators out there. How much gap do you leave between the coil and the object at when it's fully in at the closest point to the solid object?
Yep.
So, that's
I would
question.
imagine because coils, like Kermit's coils bind, and they get canted. I don't know what the right word is. They're not canted. They're bowed.
Yeah.
So I would imagine you have your coil and then the shock body, right?
Sure.
So the space between the coil and the shock body is what you should measure for clearance on the exterior of the coils, because it's not going to go any further than the shock body, right?
Yeah, sure.
So that I think that would be
a
the
good
safe
rule
point.
of thumb. Yeah. It can't go more than that.
Yeah, it can't. Yeah. So that's
unless you have big problems.
Yeah. Right. I have big problems. So never mind. I'm not gonna make the joke. I would say that's what I would be safe about. So
okay.
Yeah,
I think that's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Like that sounds right. So husband and I spent a lot of time just talking about that, moving the axle around, putting the, because I got a coil from you, a few coils from you. We put it on the shock. We just compressed it to the point where the coil is just sitting naturally. Okay. Only one coil, because we're just kind of figuring it out. That's all packaging. We just need to kind of see how this sits, and we're kind of doing it at full compression, because at full droop, it's going to be the furthest away in theory.
Okay. Yeah.
So we were kind of looking at full compression side. So we didn't need 2 coils and the thing fully extended. And so we just kind of buttoned it up real quick. And so we spent a lot of time doing that and just kind of talking about it. Like, where's the gas tank going to go? Where's the exhaust going to run? You know, all these like higher level things.
Okay.
And we kind of closed with, well, you know, you have a ton of welding that needs to get done, and you don't need me here. You know, we don't need 2 people here to do a welding for one person, because I only have one welder. You know, and I was like, okay, yeah.
But you need a videographer.
But I need a videographer. I can move the camera around. But yeah, so we were looking at welding on the frame brackets for the links. And
because everything's just tacked into place right now.
Correct.
Okay. That's all the welding we're talking about.
But the rear axle at least can be almost fully welded up, because we feel that that's all in place.
Cool.
The frame brackets for the links for the rear can be welded in. And I do believe, though I want to do a little bit of measuring, but I do believe the front ones can be welded in as well, but none of the front axle can be welded up yet. So there is a lot of welding that can be done. Yeah. And I went and got more gas the other day, because I was super low the other day. And so, so the game plan on Saturday, because the assistant and mini assistant were going to be gone most of the day, I'm like, I'm going to go weld. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to weld everything up. I'm going to get it all nice and clean and make it all pretty, and sit there and have all day to do, you know, like weld this, weld that, weld this, let the welder rest for a while, then do that rotation again, and do the, you know, left side, right side axle, you know, left side, right side, and then, you know, pause or whatever. But I got into the shop and I was like, there's not a lot of room around Samantha to weld in comfort. The floor is super dirty, like just because we've been grinding a lot, and like it's just, you know, just a mess in that corner, because that is my dirty corner, and it's planned to be my dirty corner, but it's just filthy back there right now. I'm like, I'm gonna clean up. Like I'm gonna clean a little, and went a little overboard.
Okay,
not too bad, but I mean, not in a bad way overboard. But I just spent like the entire rest of the day cleaning, and I was cleaning until the assistant and mini assistant got home, and they called me and they're like, "Hey, you ready for dinner?" Like, I'm like, it's that time already?
I still got welding to do. What are you talking about?
Exactly. And I cleaned for hours.
Jeez.
And I had like 4 or 5 axles sitting next to Samantha.
Okay.
Right. Because I have some full widths that were sitting in there, and I had like 3 or 4 housings sitting next to it. I pulled all of them out but one. So I moved the full widths outside, and moving those one person, impossible.
How'd that work?
Impossible.
Yeah.
So thankfully I already had them up onto like wheelie things, like some furniture movers and some like car dollies. So I pushed them outside onto the front pad.
Okay.
And then I lifted them up with Bobcat's winch.
Hey, you used Bobcat's winch.
Yes. And I hoisted them upwards and suspended them. And for the rear axle, because it's so offset, I had to do a bunch of like ratchet straps to like pull it up and angled and hold it into position. Yeah. So then I drove those around to I put them in front of the other roll-up door, the big roll-up door, because I'm like, nobody's going to be coming in and out of this anytime that Samantha's sitting in here. Yeah. So I can fill that space for right now. And so the front axle was a pain in the butt because it just is cattywampus with all the weight on one side. The rear axle was really easy. So I hoisted those up on Bobcat, drove them around the shop, dropped them off on a pallet, covered that with a tarp, put a bunch of, right now I moved a bunch of the other axles into the back of Clifford, but I was going to move them around to put them on the axle stand that's in the back of the shop. Mike Toronto came over and TRD John, another gentleman named John.
Okay.
And they picked up the 8.2 axle that was out of the T100.
Okay.
That I am no longer using. So they got the third member and axle housing, but I'm keeping the shafts for Samantha.
Okay.
So they took that out of my life. And then I just did a whole bunch of organizing and cleaning and moving shit off of the ground and putting it onto the shelves and organizing the shelves a little bit and started using the Cydio crates and storage and setting those up and put a lot of I think I talked about the ratchet straps went in those last time. And so the shop is so much cleaner.
Nice.
And there's tons of room around it, but it did take me almost all Saturday to do. And I didn't get to any of the welding stuff. So I don't know what our game plan is this upcoming Thursday. So not sure what's going to go on there with Samantha. I might just call Husman and be like, I'm just going to weld Thursday. And so you could have the day off or whatever. So that's pretty much it. That's the game or that, what was happening there. I did go over to Brad at Hot Metal Fab and I bought some 1.5 inch, diameter, OD with 1/4 inch wall, tubing so that I could start making, cause Brian said, I don't need to drill and tap and do all this work that I'm trying to do to save space for the tie rod and the drag link and the panhard bar and all this stuff. He said, it'll all fit with just go buy the bungs and go buy the tube and make it easy on yourself. Yeah. And so that's what I'm doing. So I bought all the tubing the other day. I need to get the bungs, to put those in, the Heims and the ball joint bungs. Actually, I have all the Heim bungs. I need the ball joint bungs. Okay. Because I'm running ball joints on all the steering arm stuff. Okay. Yeah. And then I can start connecting the front together once I get all that set up and really figure out articulation and setup and movement and everything there.
Fine tune the position of everything.
Yep. Fine tune everything. See if I need to move any of the brackets that I tacked on, and then start figuring out the coils for that as well. Yeah. So the front, the rear is surprisingly easy. Yeah. Because there's not a lot of other moving parts. Yes. And there's not a lot of stuff in the way. Yep. And so that actually came together really fast. Nice. And the kit worked out as planned. It was perfect. Very cool. Yeah. The front is just, there's so much more going on in the front that it just is going to take a lot more attention to some finer details than you really need to worry about with the rear, which doesn't have any of the moving parts. Yeah. So, so we're almost to the point where I can weld everything up in the rear and call it good. Cool. But the front still has a bit of work to go. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. It's not a lot of work on Samantha, but it's a lot of planning work, right? And getting ready for the next stages, the next step. Pretty much. It was a lot of mental work. Yeah. Right. But it wasn't physical work. Yeah. And I think I even talked about that. I posted a reel about cleaning the shop. Yep. And I said, sometimes it's not about sparks flying or things getting welded on. It's about, getting yourself mentally prepared for the next step. Yep. So yeah. Cool. I liked that reel, and I used ChatGPT a lot to help me script that. Okay. Which was fun. And I did a lot of prompting and rewriting and trying to put it in my own voice. But that was a fun little process. Nice. And I really liked that reel, but it didn't perform very well at all. It's kind of funny. That's Instagram algorithm right now. I know. Yeah. I didn't post it at the best time either, but it was just one of those things. So. Yeah. Anyways, it was a fun time. Just cleaning the shop. I mean, the shop looks great. Like it really actually, the clean shop kind of motivates me more to go in there and do stuff. So it was well worth it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. So we'll wait to hear an update from this Thursday. Sounds like the next time you're going to be working on it. Yep. I did a little bit of cleaning in the garage. Like I said, I spent a lot of time cleaning my office while the kid was awake. And then when he was asleep and napping, I worked on the Mule. But I also got some,
organizing really
Sure.
the shop, figuring out where stuff was, while I was working on the compressor bracket and all that. And I found my front axle, dimensional drawings. So from when I had to figure out all the dimensions of my front axle and the measurements of everything and where I needed to make the cuts at. So, that's all on, oil soaked cardboard now.
Right.
So I brought that in to live here in the studio.
That's perfect.
So
72.75.
that's the WMS.
Yeah. That's super wide.
Of the front axle on Kermit.
That's crazy.
And I think the rear axle is 74.75, something like that. It's almost 75 with WMS. So, that was just, I saw that and it just made me smile. I was like, oh, that was so much fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yep. All right. Well, cool. That's it for today.
Yeah. Sounds good.
We got, some fun shenanigans, some more stories brewing for you guys. I talked today about, one of the things we're looking at launching this year with Morphlate. And then there's another one, another two that are very close. We're pretty much done with prototyping and we're going into production with them. So once I have the official purchase order submitted for production, I'll let you guys know all about those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That'll be really cool. It's really exciting stuff. Some fun things coming out this year on Morphlates, and Jimmy's got some really cool stuff coming out from SnailArmor about ready to launch here too. So, and in the meantime, we're having a lot of fun doing other things.
Yep, that's for sure.
That'll do. If you guys want to give us a call and get in touch with us, to leave us a voicemail, tell us about some fun things, tell us about how we should use our new torches to burn Nick's gifts. That's it's all good stuff. Give us a call. We love hearing from you guys. 916-345-4744. We do those, go over voicemails during our snail mail segment, which is tomorrow. To you, everybody out there that's listening on Thursday when this launches. So we do all those on Fridays. And then we'll have a fun weekend. And then we have some fun content for you guys relating to KOH and kind of the Ultra 4 week at KOH, and all the events and happenings going on the lake bed, and how do you set up your schedule to attend to them all? Because that's always mine and Jimmy's problem.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to hopefully give you some insight as to what we do. And it should be a fun one. So looking forward to seeing everybody down on the lake bed next week. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. In the meantime, if you're down there already, enjoy the trophy trucks. They're always a ton of fun to watch. But we'll be down there for Ultra 4 week, and looking forward to seeing everyone down there. So anything else, Jimmy?
No, I think that's it.
Cool.
For the most part, yeah.
All right. Any final words to wrap it up today?
I think we could start a whole new segment about, like, will it burn?
Weren't we trying that at one point? We were
going to do a will it Rubicon.
No, not that one. We were playing around with the little plasma lighters or the arc lighters.
I don't remember.
And we were trying to figure out, like, what can we light on fire with it. So,
all right, we'll continue this subject.
To be continued, playing with fire. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Glad somebody has jokes around here. I need a joke.
Yeah. And this one's right up your alley. It's a little bit of a dirty humor.
Oh, okay. I'm excited now.
Yes, I figured you might be. What did one toilet say to the other?
Do you want to do synchronized swimming? I don't know. I pulled that out of my ass and into the toilet. what did they say, Jimmy?
Not bad. You look a little flushed.
Aw, poor guys.
Yeah. I have not seen many toilets that aren't white.
That's true.
Yeah. I did see online that somebody had made a 24 karat toilet. Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like some rich person's going to buy that just to shit gold.
I have seen a gold, what is that kid? What's like gold filament laid over whatever it is?
The foil.
I've seen a couple's toilet
couple's toilet.
A couple's
that
toilet
goes along with our couple underwear.
Yes, yeah. Nick would be so excited. So it's literally like one toilet is facing the one direction, the other toilet is right next to it facing the other direction, but it's all one tank system.
Okay.
So you can sit there and chat with your buddy right next to you while you're doing your business. So, and it was all gold filleted, whatever, filamented, foiled. Yeah.
Interesting.
So the more you know.
Yeah. Would you buy a couple's toilet?
I would totally get one for the warehouse. That'd be hilarious.
It goes right in.
We have button in and button out policies.
Yes, you do. I've seen the stickers.